Well, hello, my friend. It's the Crypto Lunatic live from the Lunar Café, bringing you hidden gems before they pop and simplifying the language of crypto for newbies. And today I've been on a deep dive. I've been in a rabbit hole today, my friends. I've spent way longer researching this particular coin than any other coin because it is a rabbit hole. And what I'm going to do today, I'm going to explain how I found Wayfinder, what it is, and I'm going to go down a real rabbit hole with you because I think that, this is unlike any other of the reviews I've done as far as how long it's taken me and how deep I've gone into it. So this is not financial advice. I'm not invested in Wayfinder and I'm not paid by the company to make this review. So it's completely neutral for you. With that in mind, my friends, join me on an entertaining adventure to show you the Wayfinder. So it started off on Grok. I've been working really hard on a prompt to really fully get Grok to unleash its full capabilities to research undervalued coins. Now, this is my analysis today, and you'll see it's got immutable X on there. By all means, look into that if you wish to. It's got Supra, which I've done a review on. So by all means, look into that should you wish to. It's got Arweave. I haven't done a review on that, but this keeps coming up, so you may want to look into it. But the degen play, of course, we're going degen, folks. This is a lunatic channel. We're going degen, and this one came top of the list. A steady brew, 80% on my prompt analysis scoreline, which is quite high, I have to say. So let's start. Let's start the journey. This is what Grok came up with. It said that this is something that's a rising star that not many people are talking about right now that I may want to cover on my channel. So by all means, look through that should you wish to. I'll even show you the other ones. Look, Realio Network. I've done a review on this. And Gala. I wouldn't recommend that. That's a dino coin. So I'm not quite sure where it's getting it. And that just tells me that we take everything with a pinch of salt. And that's why I'm going for a deeper dive. And I'm going to choose to focus on it, my friends, the Wayfinder prompt. So let's have a look at the chart. So Wayfinder started life back here in April at 18 cents. And it shot up. Look at that. Look at that. It went to 40, almost 48 cents. And then it shot down again, up, down, 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 down. And as you see, it's been sort of languishing here at the sort of 11 cents thing. And it's been finding its bottom. 11 cents seems like a fairly solid support here. And then suddenly, look at a little spike, a little degen style spike to 33. And now it's retraced back. So the question is, what happens next? Well, I am not Nostradamus. I don't actually know. But given where the market's at and this chart, could be interesting. So let's look deeper. We also see it's on Coinbase. This is huge. Tiny little degen coin with a market cap of 58 million. So a fully diluted market cap of 167 million. So we see that the tokenomics aren't brilliant. That's okay for a small degen coin that's only just launched. But again, that's not the reason I think this might be worth looking into. So Wayfinder unveils cross-chain crypto trading with AI agents. Now, probably don't know what that is, or maybe you do, but it sounds exciting. This is not so good, the vesting schedule. Vesting schedule. So we see here, this is important because we're going to look a lot into tokenomics in this one, because this is an interesting one. So there's 13% have gone into the private sale investors. The team advisors and contractors have got almost 20% of this project. Now, whether this is good or not, I'd say that's a high percentage. It is a high percentage. So public, i.e. miners and ICO trading. Yes, ICO. I couldn't find details on the price of the ICO. So this is a large holding of tokens for the team, the early stage investors and people involved in a project. And for me, that's a risk warning. It is a risk warning. That is a very high concentration in that area. And it's very important that I point out both sides of this. We've got a vesting schedule that looks interesting. So there's going to be tokens released on the market all the way through October, November, a couple of times a month. So this is not great. It doesn't really get too terrible until round about here, March 2026. Now, I'd imagine at this stage of the market that you're going to be out by then. I would say the bull market will almost definitely be over by then and you'll be out. So it's not going to affect you anymore with the token release. But again, this is not a healthy chart by any stretch of the imagination. Not a healthy chart. Look, every month unlocks, unlocks, unlocks. So Wayfinder is an artificial intelligence focused omni-chain protocol enabling user-owned autonomous AI agents to securely and efficiently navigate across blockchain ecosystems and dApps whilst independently transacting assets you control and dedicated to Web3 wallets. Now, if that makes any sense to you, then you're probably a Web3 native. If it doesn't, to people that are new to the space, it is using AI to simplify the crypto journey of holding, buying, and swapping tokens, which if you haven't got a great experience of, can be a nightmare. So this is looking potentially to solve quite a big problem. So first thing, we look at the token allocation and we go to holders. And this is the biggest red flag for me. This is a massive, massive red flag. And it's important that I point out both sides because there's a massive allocation into the top 5 wallets, which we're going to do a deeper dive into later, my friends. So I've actually opened up an account here. So let's take you to the initial website to see what you get of how I got there. So it comes on here and it's intelligent agents on every chain. Now, this sounds interesting. Empowering seamless blockchain mastery with AI agents on every chain. So I opened up an account. I did. So here we are, Wayfinder account. Now let's start. Look, I'm the Crypto Lunatic. I'm ready to trade. I'm ready to trade Midas. It actually printed that up for me. It says, okay, what would you like to do today? So here's where I started. I asked Midas, I have no idea what this is, what's possible, where to start. I'm reviewing Wayfinder for my crypto channel, and I've set this up to explore. Please show me the way. So this is me interacting with the native AI agent on Wayfinder. Now, I'm not going to read through all of this. I'm really not. I'm just, if you want to pause it and look at the chat that I've had, I'm going to summarize it as I go down. So I've asked it if it can identify undervalued cryptos. So this is what it says, trending tokens, blah, blah, blah. I've said, please do kindly let me know the most undervalued coins according to the metrics you've highlighted, which you can accurately track. So here you go, some suggestions from the Wayfinder AI agent. Undead's games, I've not reviewed this. So in fact, I haven't reviewed any of these. Avantis is another one. Peak, Aether, and World Liberty Financial. So whether Mantle, there's another one, and Saros. So these are the picks it's giving me. Straight off the bat, it's telling me these are undervalued coins. So they're trending. So I've looked deeper of what other indicators are you able to track. So these are the things. Again, I'm not going to read this all out to you. I'll stop the screen so that if you want to pause and read it, you can. So I said, I'm looking to create. This will give you an insight as to me interacting with AI. I always ask AI agents or AI platforms whether we can create a tool, a way to measure metrics. So again, I'm not going to read all this through. I'm just not going to do it. I've asked it to run it. So here's a sample of daily undervalued cryptos. And again, it's giving me the same stuff, it's giving me the same data, the same coins. So I've said, can you run this code for your programmer creator was assessing it and assess whether there is any way that we could improve the prompt. So this is an insight into how I work with prompts. So here we go. This is what's come up. So this is the rabbit hole I've been in, my friends. I'm not going to read it up. If you want to pause it and read through, you can. Looking into creating a scoring system. So again, I'm not going to read through all of this. So thank you, Midas. Please give the scoring out of 100. So this is just me working with the tool for it to create. And what we see here is limitations with the tool as we go through. So yeah, you come up when you create a tool, a profiling tool with any AI platform, you're going to come across glitches in the matrix that make it more difficult. So it takes time to iron it out. And again, here we've got as to what it can and can't track. Can't track the team, the tech, the tokenomics, the niche or the market served, or the profitability and revenue. But what it can track is the customer user activity, the price volume and support trends, staking and lending APY, the holder concentration, and the total value locked. So there you go. You've got a way to look at it. So they're the only metrics they can track. So again, this is me working with it to create a scoring system. So I asked whether it can create me a daily prompt so I can come on to Wayfinder and see if there's any tokens that are undervalued. So this is what I'd be looking to do with it if it does what it says on the tin. Please run the prompt. And again, it's come up with the same coins that it gave me initially. You may want to look into. There's a new one, Union. Look, that has hit the prompt. So, and it's also created its own scoring system on these out of 100 based on what I put in. Now, this would need work because there's some stuff that wouldn't be overly relevant for it. This is just the opening of me creating this tool. I would definitely work deeper on this, but it's just to show you how to start putting it together. So I asked it, just cheeky one, run this system through your own token. So here we go. That gets a 45 out of 100. So I looked into it and I went back to this one, to this prompt, this high concentration. I wonder, can it assess its own shortcomings? I said, who owns these tokens in these top 5 wallets? And it scanned them. It doesn't know. It says that maybe it's a treasury, maybe it's other people we'd need to look into. But the point being, it doesn't know how to fully assess who is sitting on these wallets. Now, the odds are that they are exchanges or they are the treasury for the company. So it may not be as sinister as it looks, but these top 2 wallets, they scare me. And this isn't even any better. There's a very high concentration in the first 5 wallets, very high. And this is a major risk in crypto. I can't get their tool to look into it any deeper than that. So it's listed wallets. I've asked it to analyze the wallets. It's checked the prompts. So none of these addresses are labeled as exchange wallets, treasury, founder, or team wallets. So this is interesting. I like this aspect that I'm getting it to assess its own token and research its own token. And funnily enough, it can't fully do that. So this is interesting and it's a limitation, but that was my rabbit hole, my friends. So let's look beyond that. This looks as though it's doing some exciting things. I mean, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. It was a rabbit hole, and I've been very interested playing with it. So let's look at social media. They've got quite a big following for a coin that was only launched recently. That's pretty impressive. So is this, the interaction on the threads 20 hours ago. They're showing they had to go through so many hoops, depositing, selling ETH and converting. Hype, it's crazy. Surely there's a better way. And exhibit B, 3x speed. So they're just showing people how people are interacting with the platform. Showing this guy, he's made some money. Look, nice little win byproduct. So they're promoting posts of people actually interacting. And that was 22 hours ago. And that's got good interaction. So this has a good following. That is good. Now, I ran it through ChatGPT Wayfinder prompt. Now, these are 2 prompts I've done on Claude and ChatGPT. And again, I'm not going to read them all through to you. If you want to pause them and look at them, you can. The only thing you're really interested in is the score it's come up with. So, value metrics. How does it land, the valuation score? So, breakout possibilities. These are the breakout possibilities. Red flags. So you may want to look at that. Security gaps. Did not find public independent security audit of the contracts. So let's have a look. So moonshot potential score, this is what you want to know. It's a 74, which is pretty high, pretty high. So I've done the same with Claude, which has done, it's a very deep dive, the Claude. So let's go back up. Executive summary, Wayfinders and artificial intelligence focus on omni-chain protocol, enabling user-owned autonomous AI agents to securely and efficiently navigate across blockchain ecosystems and dApps while independently transacting assets you control via dedicated Web3 wallets. So there you go, my friends. The key investment thesis. Wayfinder represents a unique convergence of AI agents and blockchain infrastructure, positioning itself as middleware for autonomous blockchain navigation. The project benefits from strong foundational backing through parallel studios and targets a rapidly expanding AI crypto intersection. So, as far as narratives are concerned, this is sitting right in the middle of the two big trending AI agents and AI. So it's fairly low cap. It's looking to do some promising things. Again, I'm not going to read all of this to you. By all means, pause should you wish. This is my deep colonic prompts that I've got Claude to do. So direct competitors, and please note that all of these three have amalgamated into a crypto called artificial superintelligence. So this is just one crypto. Its direct competitors is ASI. This information is slightly out of date because it hasn't taken into account that amalgamation. And again, this is something that we use to know that there's limitations in using AI in the way that I'm using it right now. That all of this needs to be double checked and possibly treble checked, but this is what it's come up with. So it talks about development activity, it talks about team intelligence, and it's fairly good on the overall team score. That's quite high. That is quite high. So again, you can pause this. I'm going to get to the tables that give this all in simple statistics and percentages. So the Metcalfe's law valuation, early stage network with growing AI agent ecosystem, community developed paths, increasing utility and cross-chain capabilities. And here is the scoring table. Now this, my friends, is pretty high. It's pretty high. This is very, very good tokenomics. I've run this through a lot of projects and they score significantly lower than this. The lowest score is here, current profitability and revenue. So are we catching this at a point that could be an interesting entry point? Or is this a brilliantly positioned project with nobody using it? We don't know what the future is going to be, but this is positioned interestingly. And that, my friends, is a very high score. Usually the average is about 60 to 65 of projects I put through this. Advanced undervaluation metrics. This is where it's currently sitting. And these are super high. That's a super high score. So this is generally coming out as potentially a good entry point. So with all of this data, now for all of you data heads, by all means, pause and read through should you wish to. Should you wish to do so, you can do that, my friends. Depends how much research you want to do into this project, because that's how it's set up. And finally, there's not much on YouTube about this, but there is a Wayfinder research, very unloved, very underserved. But look, this started 5 months ago and they're bringing out slow and steady ones and they just talk how you use Wayfinder. Now I watched these 3 videos. It's very practical. It's very practical. I think there could be something here. The wallet concentration is my biggest concern, but the current price point seems like a reasonable risk reward entry. Am I going to throw my own money into it? Well, I'm probably going to go back and play with their AI agent and see just how sophisticated it is and how it stacks up. But from what I've seen, if it can't give an analysis on its own token addresses, I would say that there's some way to go with that. But that's just me being a little bit cynical. And this definitely looks worth exploring. definitely worth exploring. I'll be keeping my eye on it, my friends. And if you know anything about this, if you've got any comments, if I've missed something off this review, if you think that I've been unfair, then by all means, leave a comment. I set these things up as much to educate myself, to find out from the broader community with the comments that come on, to get your opinions on this. And if you've enjoyed this review and you want to have more of the same, then please do subscribe to the channel. And if you want another video, you'll find that there. But either way, my friends, stay lunatic, have fun, and make money with crypto.